Alrighty, so we have a lunar eclipse coming up August 21st in the United States. Today is August 14th, and thinking if the world is flat, okay, I could see a solar eclipse, but a lunar eclipse, how's that work? Unless there's something else blocking it, which I did see some video of some dude and something, two objects seem to be covering the moon. But it was quick, it was shady, it was kind of crappy. I tried looking at some other videos and see if I see anything, but everybody focuses deeply on the moon. And then, so I keep looking and checking and trying to find out, and I seen a video with a drawing. And I don't think I listened to it, right? But it, on the flat, if the earth is flat and the sun is spinning like the arms of a watch or a clock, kind of just spinning in circles. The only difference is I had the impression that it spins and it will get closer to the center and then work its way back outward, causing different time shifts. And whenever you look at pictures, they put it like the yin and yang, the sun's on one side, the moon's on the other, keeps going. Obviously that's not true, but I seen a video, and like I said, I didn't click into it, and as the earth is spinning, or the sun, I apologize, the sun is spinning, going from the outer equator towards the center of the North Pole in a flat plane, it doesn't stay in the same height. It's corking up in the way of like a screw, a thread would go, kind of upward, and then I guess it starts to work its way back down. So this is the only way that I could explain a lunar eclipse. So I don't know if the sun and the moon are corking its way upwards and then back down, depending on how close it's to the North Pole and how far it goes from the North Pole. Or if the moon, well, now thinking about it, they both will have to be somewhat traveling in the same road, if you can say that, the same road, because they are the same size and they're blocking each other. And I guess in some cases it doesn't totally block one of the other, because you'll be able to see the outer edge. But I don't know, I'm not no specialist in flat earth, globe earth, moon eclipse, sun eclipse. I'm just trying to think on my own, trying to erase everything else I've been taught or I believe, and just following what I see, what I feel, and just let my mind go with the flow. So with that said, if the earth was flat and the sun is rotating slowly upward and getting tighter to the core, to the center, to the North Pole, and then once it hits a certain spot, it starts to twirl, keep the same spin, but starts to cork downward, and the moon as well, then that would be the best way to explain how a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse happens in a flat plane. I mean, I have to say, I don't know the earth is flat, ball, square, matrix, none of that. What I do know is that what we've been told is a lie. And because of that, I can't trust anything that comes from anybody that is part of that lie. But it makes more sense in a globe, at least for a lunar eclipse. A solar eclipse, it could go either way. But in a flat plane, unless the sun is twirling around the way I explained, that could make sense. But then more questions arise, like what's holding it up? What's pulling it up? You know, as it's twirling around, is it getting heavier and then lighter? I mean, sometimes I see the moon huge from far, from straight ahead. When I'm looking straight towards, let's say, the east, it looks huge, and then as it keeps coming towards my way, before you know it, is tiny. So maybe it did move up. You know, maybe the Earth has deeper ends and higher ends. I don't know. You know, one question I have in my head is, okay, the path of this eclipse, the shadow, they show it slanting from, let's say, northwest corner towards the east-south corner. I've been wanting to draw the flat Earth map and to see what is that path. Why does it look like a straight line? Shouldn't it look curved? Either or, whether it's a globe or a flat plane, shouldn't it be a curve, not a straight line? I don't know. But that's all you can do, is question yourself and try to come up with your own answers. Or maybe the path of that moon, if you adjust it, maybe it's just a fucking shadow. The shadow, since the Earth is stationary and was moving as the sun and the moon, and because the moon is twirling one way but the shadow's coming another, then it makes sense to me that the sun is closer, moving faster, and the Earth is stationary and the moon is moving so slow, so that the sun, as is, let's say, goes from east to west. So let's say the sun's coming this way, the moon's this way. As the sun is passing the moon, then the shadow makes sense going from west to east. That does make sense. So obviously the sun is closer, it's moving faster than the moon. We all know that. Well, not all, but at least I want to say the people that think of the flat Earth. The sun is moving faster than the moon. The moon is moving much slower, and the Earth seems to be stationary. Then you get this effect where the shadow is coming the opposite way on where the moon is traveling, as well as the sun. Is the shadow, the moon somewhere between both of these, and is the sun going? Hope that was a good visual. I'm driving, I can't multitask, so for me to drive, follow the speed limit, talking videos, best time I have to free talk. That's why I do it now. But yeah, that's just my point of view, bits and pieces of I'm gathering, and the possibility of how could this work. The sun and the moon is the hardest. Peace, everybody, those that like to listen.